It's Super Videos back at you for another video. In this video I'm going to be talking about whether or not we're going to revisit the Sanctuary in 704, which is episode 4 of season 7, which is called Service. So you probably have no idea why I'm getting this, but I went back and looked at the teasers that we got for season 7, specifically the Negan's Way promo. And I actually found something very interesting, because if you go back and look at that promo, there are certain scenes in that promo that we never saw in episode 3. Does that mean that we're going to revisit the Sanctuary in the next episode, or maybe later? I'm going to show these pictures first and then talk about it a little bit in more detail later. So as you can see in this first one, the big picture is part of the scene we actually got to see on screen in episode 3. And the smaller picture is actually from the teaser, and if you take a look, it's the same spot because they both have the same clock. But we never got to see Negan kind of enter the hallway and throw Lucille on his back. We actually saw something like this from the other view, not from this view. So it's very interesting, and it actually brings up a very interesting question, and that's if they shot 2 scenes for this and put one in the teaser, because in the actual scene that plays out we see Daryl, so they could have shot it from another angle and put it on the teasers, because that wouldn't reveal that Daryl was alive. So that's one case. Or the other case is that we're actually going to revisit the Sanctuary in the next episode and actually see this scene play out. And we do know that episode is when Negan and the Saviors go to Alexandria, so it kind of makes sense for us to take a look at the Sanctuary as well in the same episode. The other thing I want to point out is that the time is the same in both clocks. Doesn't make sense for it to be exactly the same if it's not the same scene from different angles. But this is not the only one that I found. So if you look at this one, which is basically from the teasers, one where Negan has Lucille on his back, and it looks like he's on the balcony. We never got to see that in this episode either. Now this is the exact same spot that we saw in episode 3 when Dwight and Negan were talking to one another, but we never got to see that specific scene with Negan. And in this case, it doesn't make sense why they wouldn't put it, because it doesn't reveal anything, because we don't see anyone else. So why wouldn't they just put that there? And then there's the last one where Negan was kind of embracing Dwight and hugging him and whatever. That scene is different than the one that we got in the teasers as well, because if you look at the teasers, what we have is different. And I have the screenshot from the teaser as the small photo, and as you can see, that's an entirely different spot. That's from the hallways. That's not from the main area of the Sanctuary. That's more from the underground hallways. So why wouldn't they have that in the episode if it happens in the same episode? So everything is kind of leading me to believe that we're gonna revisit the Sanctuary in the next episode, and that we're gonna get to see a little bit more of the Sanctuary in episode 4 before we actually go to Alexandria. Or we may actually start at Alexandria, visit the Sanctuary, and come back to Alexandria and see that Negan and the Saviors are at Alexandria. But I want your opinion about this. This is very interesting. But I want to know what you think. Do you think we're going to see the Sanctuary again? Or do you think that these scenes are just part of scenes they didn't put on the actual episode itself, which would be kind of weird if they did that? That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll be back for another video.